Good afternoon, everybody. I'm MicheleMarieDalene. Of course, today we're going to be talking about some news articles. And first of all, because I've got cats around, I gotta watch out. My coffee cup getting spilled onto my phone, which would not be too nice if that happened. I know my cats don't mean harm, but they tend to do that kind of stuff. Okay, now the article we're talking about comes from United Nations. This is reported is from Russian television, from their website called RT.com. I'm only going to read the first paragraph. I'm not going to read all of it. Okay, this is submitted and published on February 4th, 2014 at 02:14 a.m. I guess that would be Greenwich Mean Time. A study by the UN Health Body finds that deregulated food markets result in more people eating fast food and an increase in the obesity epidemic. Governments could slow and even reverse the epidemic by tighter control of the fast food market. The new report, published by the Bulletin of World Health Organization, WHO. Now, earlier I got a little bit angry, and I really want to calm down a little bit and try to explain something to you. It's not always the food that we put in. Okay, I'm overweight myself. Okay, I'm not skinny, and a lot of times it's so easy for us to blame the companies as the only problem. What about us? We are just as much part of the problem. Not by choice necessarily, but there's like three major reasons for obesity in the world today. Number one, thanks to all the modern conveniences of our society, there just isn't much reason to do anything physical labor anymore. But because of tradition, we tended to still eat like we're still working on a farm or as a heavy laborer, and that's part of its tradition. Thanksgiving dinner is a good example of this. Christmas dinner is also a good example of this. But the truth is because we continue to eat like we're common laborers or farmers, we are putting in more food than we put out. Consequently, the second problem, which doesn't help the first at all either, is the fact is that a good portion of those on disability are discouraged from working or doing anything productive in their lives. They tend to feel unwelcome. And we're often told, you got your government stipend, now sit down, watch your TV shows, here's the remote, and just eat all you want. We'll make more. But the problem is that a lot of people who are obese did not choose to enter that category. Some of us are obese because of reason number 3, heredity. Now, my father is a skinny man. When he died, he was a skinny mini. And he ate pretty well, but he was not obese. My brother has a battle with the bulge. He is constantly, like me and my sister, is always working to keep his weight within check. My mom also is working very hard to keep healthy in her twilight years. The sad truth is that no matter how you look at it, just blaming the fast food companies is not the solution to the problem. There's also, as I said, there's the broken dreams of a lot of people who really wanted to do more than they're doing. And the second thing is that a lot of these people feel that they just don't get anything going for them. I'm overweight. I'm obese. Okay? My BMI is like 30%. Okay, I'm not skinny. In fact, some people will never, even if they were lucky enough to stay active and ate right, just don't get skinny. Okay? But when you are on disability and you have a government that tells you basically just sit there watching TV shows, eating Doritos, and act like it's no big deal. Well, you have to deal with the same stressors as the working class do, such as making sure the rent's paid, the electric's paid, the gas is paid, the phone is paid. Make sure if you have a car, the car payments are paid. Make sure your insurance is paid. It just adds up to a giant anxiety thing, which does increase the amount of cortisol. And that also, we've been told that if you want to feel good, have a cookie, have a piece of cake, have a piece of pie. Go have a Big Mac. It's okay. But the truth is we all know that for those people who are told that the food is supposed to be the make me feel good thing, we tend to feel like, because we're so indoctrinated in it, it's part of us. But the thing that bothers me is at the same time, this World Health Organization is saying to countries that you need to better regulate the fast food industry. It's not the answer. What they should be doing is encouraging countries to put those who are unworking, or not working, the disabled, the disenfranchised. We should be encouraged to get out and play for an hour a day. The U.S. Department of Fitness Presidential Council suggested that. It's part of the program for children. Get out and play for an hour a day. Well, for us adults, we need to do the same thing. I mean, recreation is important to anybody. I don't care if you're a child or if you're 93-year-old. Maybe the form of recreation changes because of ages, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't get out there and play for an hour a day. Okay, I try. But, it's the thing that bothers me is like I said, is blaming the food industry. It's only part of the problem. What else the government can do is encourage people like myself to get out there and do something productive. Well, I'm going to have some cold work fair for those who are able-bodied, that were able to do some work. In other words, you would go to work, you get paid. Okay? It was a good deal, really. We got things done. Well, but the problem was because unions and contracts and things like that, they ended up canceling work fair because the unions didn't like it. But the point is that if you ever try to get a job and you're in a low-income category, you find yourself always feeling like you are not welcome to work. And you know what? With the modern technology today, we don't have to work. That's the problem. I mean, do you really have to brush your britches to wash your laundry? No. You just put the laundry into the washing machine, add washing detergent to it, turn it on, come back and say it was 35 minutes, transfer it into a dryer, maybe throw in a fabric sheet after you clean the linen filter, and then you're done. That's your laundry. It took less than an hour. What about washing dishes? Same thing. Put your dirty dishes into the dishwasher, close the door after you add some dish soap. Machine does the job, say about 35 minutes, 40 minutes, you're done. What about the need to fetch water? Oh, that's no problem. We have a water pump for that. Or what about the need to go fetch ice? Oh, I don't have to worry about that. I got an ice maker for that. The point is we have created a society of lazy people. That's the whole problem, and that's what makes it worse. And that's the reason why what I said earlier was very poignant, but maybe it was just a little bit too much to express here on YouTube because a lot of people would have gotten very upset. And I don't really want to upset my customers, my fans. You guys are important to me, but I'm just saying as an obese person, I'm just getting so fed up when listening to all this blame game and acting like we are either A, the problem, or B, big corporations are a problem. What about the lack of activity? Even housework is exercise. Well, thanks to modern technology, we don't even have to vacuum anymore. We got machines to do that. We got robotic vacuum cleaners that go through. You press the start button, machine goes through, cleans the floor, sweeps it. The same thing for the kitchen. They got robotic mops. There's really nothing to do. We just sit here. Our whole lives have been replaced by a computer. But the sad truth is that if we had ever lost all of our infrastructure, all the electricity, all the gas, all the phone, all the internet, I think we'd be in very, very tough straits at first. But I bet that if given a few months' time, if it was a long-term outage, after the die-offs, and there would be, that those who would remain alive would find a way to get themselves out there to do their chores, to do the laundry, to do the shopping, to do the cooking, to do the cleaning. And you will see the weight come off. And that doesn't matter if the McDonald's existed or not. It would still be a way to get people to lose their weight. Because you see, in the turn of the century, the 19th century, ever since the development of the Industrial Revolution, especially in the late 19th century, you had two groups, okay? You actually had more than two. I'm going to talk about the two groups. The laboring people and the captains of industry. Captains of industry were the fat ones. They were the gilded ones. They didn't have to work. They didn't need to. They got people to do the work for them. They had servants, okay? So they had the privilege of basically sleeping late, and a lot of them didn't even have to get out of bed to eat or excrete. They actually had it so set up that the servants would empty their bedpans and chamber pots and whatever. They didn't have to do anything. And then you had the laborers. That's the men and women that were emptying the bedpans, chamber pots of the rich, and digging the ditches and putting in the gas pipes and water pipes and building the cities or working the cotton mills or farming the land. They were actually underweight. A lot of them were actually just getting just enough calories, and they were healthy and strong. It was the overweight, well-to-dos that were dying off. Today, it's ironically flipped, especially if you're disabled. You're told, okay, you're like you the gilded ones. You don't have to work a day in your life. Your needs are provided for. You don't have to volunteer. You don't have to do a single thing. And it's true with the big guys in business too, but they can afford to go to a gym and hire personal trainers and work out. And so they are always working on finding ways to lose weight. But the poor, well, we don't make enough to go pay for our gym membership or any of that. So we kind of get bigger and bigger and bigger. And while the well-to-do stay skinny and look pretty, but really, one of the things that President Obama wanted to do, which I agree with, is that he wants to encourage companies to hire people who have been unemployed for a long time. I agree with that. I think we need to, because a lot of them are not unemployed because they want to be. They're unemployed maybe because of work, maybe they had to They hadn't had a job in a long time because the economy changed or slowed, and they had to go back to school, or maybe they couldn't find a job in the industry that they were trained for, and they needed to find a job. But for a long time, employers would not hire them based on their lack of work history, making them all look like they were bad people, which wasn't necessarily true. They weren't bad people. It just had to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's all. So several companies have agreed that they're going to give the long-term unemployed a try. What about the disabled? I'd like to talk about us too. We need a reason to go back to work, and we need a chance to show what we can do. I work hard on my studio productions, and I take a lot of time to do what I do. And as such, I just, sometimes I just get a little bit frustrated because I feel like I'm not getting the things done that I'd like to do. But I'm going to keep trying to do the things that I need to do because that's just me. But anyway, so the thing is oh yes, weather. Today, we're going to be seeing about up to 30 centimeters of snow today and tonight and tomorrow. So things could get a little dicey here in Connecticut. So please do exercise due diligence if you do have to travel on the road. And it's going to get cold again. By the way, yesterday's snow is more of a granular snow. It wasn't very powdery. It certainly wasn't very packable, but it sure was tasty. That snow went down sweet. Because you see, I like to taste the snow. That's how I can tell what kind of snow we're going to get. So what kind of snow we had tells me what kind of atmospheric conditions we have. And it's the kind of snow that says that we're going to have a nice storm coming up. But anyway, I wanted to thank you for listening to this. And as I said, I got my hair done today. And you can see it's clean. It's got the growth fixed and everything. My hair's growing real long. But it's still going to take a while for me to get my hair to where I want it. Because I want to grow my hair a lot longer than this. But, it takes time. But for right now, I want you to comment, like, share, and subscribe my videos with other people, your family, your friends, your congressman. Let your congressman know what I told you. And tell him to double the WHO, that they're only looking at part of the problem. And that as a country, we need to work on the other part of the problem, which is to get people back into doing something productive with their bodies and their food that they've intaked. So I'll talk to y'all soon. You have a nice day now. Bye-bye, everybody.